2022 DTM season. It was a thrilling journey.
Huge jump behind, and fireball as well we've got.
A journey with a remarkable field of drivers, one of enormous quality.
And Marco Wittmann will come back at him. There's a bit of contact. They're sent out wide, especially René Rast. 2 champions together, 5 titles between them.
A journey that featured an impressive variety of brands. Across 8 tracks, the season was intense.
Oh my God, wait!
And highly emotional. But above all, extremely dramatic.
Fraga is sent into a spin. Bortolotti spins, and Chelten van der Linde has got the lead of the race from 3rd place.
The 2022 DTM season. It was a journey towards this one goal. A search for an answer to this one question. Who would be crowned champion?
Well, one thing is for sure, this season will not be forgotten. It was exciting, nerve-wracking, and certainly unpredictable till the very end. Only in the last weekend, on the last race day, we reigned the champion. But till then, it was a long way for all the drivers, and it all started in Portugal.
The new DTM season got underway at Portimao in Portugal and made big waves straight away. Under the guidance of big wave surfer Sebastian Steutner, it was all about finding stability. The DTM drivers did well on the board, just as they did behind the wheel. They got into the groove, ready for the long season ahead. At this point, every single one of them thought that their chances were good, at the racetrack and on the water. Portimao had some unique attributes for the season opener. Particularly beautiful, an especially demanding Formula One track, distinctly spectacular. Historically, it also marked the beginning of Porsche's first full campaign in the championship, making it 6 brands in the DTM. And it was notable for the comeback of René Rast, the 3-time DTM champion.
Yeah, it feels good to be back, obviously. I missed DTM obviously last year because of Formula E, but now I'm back, and it's quite cool to be back. You know, lots of cars on track, lots of drivers, new cars. Everything is for me a bit new.
However, neither Rast nor Porsche had anything to do with the first pole of the new season. Somebody else stepped into the limelight. Mirko Bortolotti claimed first place on the grid, the very first time for him, as well as being Lamborghini's first ever DTM pole. The Italian newcomer had already made his first impression, and it wasn't to be his last, as became clear early in the season. But first of all, he had to fend off Michael Grenier at the start of race 1 in Portugal.
So we're all set to go racing then, getting ready then for the rolling start as the lights go out and the DTM 22 season gets underway. It's absolutely neck and neck for the lead of the race here. Grenier's got a really good start on the outside line, he is though, and he's still got his nose in front.
Indeed, Bortolotti remained in front and seemed to be on his way to victory for a long time. Until his Swiss teammate, Rolf Ineichen, triggered a safety car intervention.
Eyes fixed then on the restart. To the left is Bortolotti, to the right is Auer, and Bortolotti controls the pace, but he doesn't get off the line very well at all. There's some contact, there's some body work. Lucas Auer is in front, and Bortolotti is going to drop down to 4th or 5th place here.
Bortolotti struggled at the restart, allowing the Mercedes trio of Lucas Auer, Lucas Stolz and Maro Engel to pull away. In the end, Bortolotti was still able to get a podium finish after an entertaining duel with Engel over many laps. He took 3rd place, behind Stolz and the first winner of the new season, Lucas Auer from Austria.
He flashes the lights, it's victory for Lucas Auer and Team Winward in the opening round.
It was a cool race. I had an advantage with Mirko. I think he had some failure or something at the restart. But after that, I had a good car and I could drive it home, so very pleased with that.
Having been a title contender for the entirety of the previous season, Kelvin van der Linde was the best Audi driver in 4th, while Norway's Dennis Olsen secured 5th on Porsche's debut. The best BMW driver was Sheldon van der Linde in 7th. For the defending champion, however, the season opener was disappointing. Maximilian Goetz only finished 11th in his Mercedes, with plenty of room for improvement.
The tire was gone because I was destroying it because of sliding, so we were out of the window, of the tire window. So we need to work on that, find the right balance, but in the end I think looking forward to have a great season.
Things got off to a great start with that first race. Also great was the name of someone who joined the field as a guest driver for the weekend, Sebastian Loeb. The 9-time World Rally champion took over Nick Cassidy's Ferrari in Portugal, standing in for the Red Bull regular from New Zealand. For Loeb, it was a massive task, but he also had a huge amount of fun, despite finishing 16th in the first race.
It was tough. The battle is quite intense. Did my best. I did a clean run, no mistakes. So it was nice. It was fun.
The second race day also promised much excitement, particularly because we had a starting grid never seen before. Audi's Nico Müller, Lamborghini's Mirko Bortolotti, Ferrari's Felipe Fraga, BMW's Sheldon van der Linde, and Saturday race winner Lucas Auer with his Mercedes. Drivers from 5 different brands filled the first 5 places. There couldn't have been more variety.
Round 2 of DTM 2022 here at Portimao. The lights go red, they go green, and we are off and away. And it's absolutely different tug between the top 2. Müller's got the inside line, but he has made a good start here. Bertolotti is trying to come around the outside of him, but can't do so.
With the 6th pole of his DTM career, Müller ended his drought, having not started a DTM race at the front for almost 600 days. And this pole brought him luck. After a good start, Müller put in a fantastic performance. His reward? The 2019 and 2020 championship runner-up scored his 11th DTM race victory. His first since Hockenheim in November 2020.
We are back, Nico, we are back. Well done, great race, great pace.
Yeah, it feels very good. I mean, especially after the whole winter break, you know, where we've put so much work into coming back to where we belong after the difficult 14, 15 months that lie behind us. So to come back like this on Sunday feels very good. The big job still lies ahead of us, but I look forward to it.
However, there was no doubt that this man was the big winner of the weekend, Mirko Bortolotti. Matching the previous day's result, he finished 3rd in the second race of the season and headed home from the Algarve as the points leader.
Obviously, the 3rd place today feels like a win. Was the absolute maximum. And of course, we started from 2nd place, but Felipe was much faster.
Another rookie, Felipe Fraga, also impressed in the second race of the season. Liam Lawson's successor finished a sensational 2nd, underlining his potential.
I'm really happy to finish P2 in such a strong field like this in my first ever DTM weekend. And yeah, we keep working now.
But there was bad luck for the winner of the first race of the season, Lucas Auer. After his mandatory pit stop, the Austrian had to return to the pits just 1 lap later. That meant 22nd place was all he could achieve. And yet, Lucas Auer seemed to be unfazed by this setback. The second DTM race weekend was held at Lausitzring, with the Austrian pushing hard straight away. Having scored his maiden DTM race win here in 2016, it was clear to see how at ease Auer is at this high-speed circuit. He claimed his first pole position of the season and was quick to announce that he didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. Would he be able to score his 2nd win of the season?
The safety car peels in. Lucas Auer to the right, to the left, Sheldon van der Linde, the Austrian, the South African, behind them Maro Engel and Lucas Stoltz, the two German drivers, and the races go. Looks like a good start for Sheldon van der Linde. He's got his nose in front of the BMW into the lead of the race.
So in the drag race towards turn 1, BMW driver Sheldon van der Linde immediately shot past Lucas Auer. A phenomenal rocket start by the South African. And with van der Linde keeping calm and in control afterwards as well, he celebrated his second win in DTM.
Oh man, I literally have no words. Honestly, it's been such a long time coming. My last win was in Essen 2 years ago, but I think the key was really just the start.
As Lucas Auer endured a rather unfortunate pit stop in his Mercedes, it was fellow Mercedes driver Lucas Stoltz who took second place.
The pit stop, the guys did just an amazing stop. I think it was the fastest again, like Portimao. So really credits to them. They did the job today. But yeah, P2 is awesome.
Even though Auer only finished third, having started from pole position, it was enough for him to claim the championship lead. Erstwhile leader Mirko Bortolotti only finished in 6th place.
What happened? It's a bit complicated to answer, I think. We can only focus on our job. That's what we did. Absolute maximum result for us.
Once again, Maximilian Goetz wasn't involved in the battle for the top positions and only finished 10th. Talking about champions, one driver made it really clear at Lausitz that he fully intended to be a title contender. Sheldon van der Linde. The day after his first win of the season, he dominated proceedings on Sunday. First, he claimed BMW's first pole of the season in spectacular fashion. And then he took a commanding race victory. Sheldon van der Linde was crowned king of Lausitz.
It is the Lausitz Ring 2022, and it is going to be just about a double win for Sheldon van der Linde.
Before this, I had one DTM win in the last 2 years, and now I've got 2 in 1 weekend, so that's by far the best weekend I've ever had.
Behind van der Linde, a surprise second place finish went to Maro Engel. After a pair of 10th place finishes and a 5th, the Mercedes driver was on the podium for the first time in only the 4th race of his comeback season.
That was a good weekend for us. Big thanks to the team. You know, we saw in Portimao that if we put things together, there's a lot of potential. The car was on point in both qualifyings, and I had good laps, and yeah, so good points this weekend.
At Lausitz, René Rast also proved that he was definitely back in the mix. The 3-time DTM champion was the best placed Audi driver and secured 3rd place. After a weekend without any points in Portugal, it was a big step forward.
I'm very happy, obviously. First podium for me 5 years ago. I had also my first podium here at the Lausitz Ring, so cool story. We know what happened 5 years ago in that championship, so hopefully it's a good omen.
As Mirko Bortolotti only finished 6th and Lucas Auer just 8th, Sheldon van der Linde left Lausitz as the new championship leader, already with an impressive margin of 15 points. Thus, it was clear that after van der Linde had been a title contender in the previous year in the shape of Kelvin, there was one this year too, but this time it was Sheldon. Time stood still for a while prior to the 3rd race weekend of the season. DTM raced in Italy at a venue that epitomizes the magic of motorsport. Imola. A village with one of the world's most significant racetracks, still of course closely associated with one name: Ayrton Senna. I've always said with Ayrton Senna, the sun fell down from the sky. Everybody knows the position Ayrton had in our business. We were of the same age, the same generation. Ayrton was the best driver by far. For me, still the best Formula One driver in history. DTM raced at Imola for the first time, an exciting venue for a hot race weekend. And this man had some ambitions, Mirko Bortolotti. After all, for him, this race weekend differed from those previous in that it was his home round. Therefore, he was particularly keen on scoring his maiden DTM race win, and the first for Lamborghini, at this legendary track.
Well, I know the track really well. I've raced here for many years, so it's definitely one of my favorite tracks in Italy, and of course the favorite track on the calendar, of the DTM calendar.
But after qualifying, it was already clear that the home race would not be easy for either Lamborghini or Ferrari. Other drivers came to the fore. First and foremost, this man, René Rast. Last time out at Lausitz, he was back on the podium for the first time since his return to DTM. And now, at Imola, he was back on pole position too. Next, he would have to defend his position in the race.
And as soon as we get the green lights, we will be going racing. But the race gets underway. It's side by side between the top two men here.
With temperatures of well over 30 degrees centigrade, Rast kept cool throughout. Both during the pit stop and on the hot asphalt, the German remained in control and had the necessary composure to claim victory at the end.
That was a fantastic job, René. Feels good to be back up on the podium.
Spectacular. After a one-year break, after 587 days, Rast was back on the top step of a DTM podium for what was the 25th time.
Yeah, amazing feeling, obviously. Before the season, I really didn't expect it, to fight for wins or podiums. But obviously very happy. We had a perfect day with pole position and the race win, so maximum points. Yeah, quite unbelievable, I have to say.
And with that, Rast confirmed he was definitely a title contender. Fellow Audi driver Nico Müller, Rast's main title rival from back in the day, claimed second place from Mirko Bortolotti, who did at least make it onto the podium at his home round.
Amazing race, incredible result. I never thought to be able to get on the podium today.
However, that third place wasn't enough to reclaim the championship lead. An Audi driver celebrated victory on day 2 in Italy as well. While René Rast had to retire early due to a puncture, Riccardo Feller shone. Having started from pole position, the 22-year-old also mastered the most critical moment of the race, the restart. After Rast's victory on Saturday, it was the second race win for the Abt Sportsline Audi team in Imola.
Our race was quite tough, to be honest, but it feels quite good now to stand here. So, yeah, would be nice if there's more to come like this.
The 4 rings also adorned the race car of the second place driver. Dev Gore achieved the first ever podium finish for an American driver in the DTM.
We've had so many issues in qualifying and we've struggled so much there that we never really got to show what we were actually capable of, and today we were at least able to showcase a little bit the pace we could have up front.
The battle for third remained thrilling until the end. It was only in the final meters that two-time DTM champion Marco Wittmann overtook Lucas Auer. For Wittmann, who had huge ambitions going into the season, it was a long-awaited first positive sign.
obviously we still want to come closer to the win. But after the first 2 race weekends, we had a good week.
In the championship, Sheldon van der Linde extended his lead with 2 races where he went under the radar. With 80 points, though, the BMW driver was 12 points ahead of Mirko Bortolotti, after the Italian only scored 1 point for finishing 10th in race 2. The 4th race weekend of the season was the home round for this man, at the Norrisring in Nuremberg, the venue where Maximilian Götz enjoyed his biggest success to date. I've been coming here since I was 8 years old, as often as I could. I was a little boy together with my father. I was hunting for autographs. I admired Bernd Schneider and Klaus Ludwig, and then winning the title here last year, I just can't describe it, and I think it could hardly get any better. The inaugural champion of the new era in DTM, an unforgettable title in many ways. Months after the 2021 DTM finale at the same venue, the question was who would be the half-time champion going into the 8-week summer break.
We throw the lights to the top of the gantry as we get ready to rock and roll and race. DTM here at the Norrisring. Already some drivers champing at the bit, trying to anticipate the lights as we go green. A good start from Kelvin van der Linde. He covered off that inside line pretty nicely. Frank Pereira's trying to have a go, and so too is Arjun Maini all the way around the outside. Arjun Maini then a big bold move right from the start, and Arjun Maini and Frank Pereira make contact, and Arjun Maini has got around, and then there is a stack and queue of cars that all get involved. It's something of a domino effect then.
From the 27 cars that took the start, 7 drivers suffered an early retirement, including points leader Sheldon van der Linde. And it didn't stop there. The safety car was deployed 3 times in total. Additionally, there was a full course yellow. Eventually, only 11 cars made it to the end of the action-packed race. And the first to do so was Thomas Preining with Porsche.
I'm extremely happy. I'm super proud of the whole team. This time we really managed to execute our plan perfectly, and we really extracted 110% of our potential.
Thanks to Preining, Porsche became the 11th brand to win a race in DTM, and Dennis Olsen completed a Porsche 1-2 on the day.
You know, starting 9th, didn't know what to expect. Finishing 2nd. Behind another Porsche, which is always great for the brand. It feels great.
Rather quietly, René Rast claimed 3rd place from 6th on the grid, and again underlined that he had to be taken into account.
It was a very chaotic race, lots of incidents, lots of contact, lots of safety cars, damaged cars. So it wasn't easy to really be where we are now, because I also had a slow puncture, so I lost pressure every lap. So I was just happy to survive the race.
A turbulent day came to an end at Norrisring. Question was, would race 2 be anywhere near as chaotic? It was a different driver who started up front. For the first time, Felipe Fraga secured pole position in his Red Bull Ferrari. After a wild ride on Saturday, the DTM drivers staged a disciplined show on Sunday. Felipe Fraga came out on top, securing his maiden DTM race win on what was his 27th birthday.
He will see the checkered flag within sight. Felipe Fraga wins DTM at the Norrisring.
You're a race winner in DTM, mate.
Yes, man. Finally.
I think we showed that we are here for that. I think this is the place we deserve, not just P1, but fighting, you know, in front. The team did a perfect job. They also gave me a nice gift, you know, starting with the cake in the morning, and then the car was in one piece after the crash of yesterday.
For Maximilian Götz, 6th place was a more or less satisfying way to conclude the first half of the season. However, the podium was well beyond reach, as it was for Sheldon van der Linde. The South African only finished 15th. Therefore, the half-time champion title was gone.
Pointless weekend. Up until now, I've scored points in every race until this weekend, and now we haven't scored twice in a row. So, not feeling good. A bitter weekend for me. But yeah, I mean, I'm taking the highlights for now. We still P2 in the championship. We're still in the game.
Van der Linde was now second in the standings, albeit just 1 point ahead of René Rast. The Audi driver again finished third and put himself in a good position by means of a strong weekend.
Before the season, I didn't know what to expect with these new cars. Obviously, the first weekend didn't go to plan, but from Lausitzring onwards, we picked up pace, and we had 4 or 5 podiums since then. So very happy about that, and we are closing the gap to P1 and Championship.
However, it was Mirko Bortolotti who scored the most points across the first 4 race weekends. Second place on Sunday at Norrisring moved him back to the top of the table. He went into the summer break with a 9-point margin.
We did a good job so far. I mean, we've been 7 times in the points out of 8 races. Yesterday was a black day, and we came back in the right way today, scoring good points, having the best result for us this season, and we need to keep going like this.
So far, he had been the underdog, but now it was clear that his role in the drivers' field would change, from hunter to hunted. A new situation in terms of pressure for Bortolotti.
This young man here, Mirko Bortolotti, certainly mixed up the DTM. Last year as a guest starter, he showed his full potential in Assen, driving full-on onto the podium. And this year, in his season 2022, his first season, Mirko Bortolotti showed his potential in the first half of the season, showing constant work and collecting points. But the question is, will he be able to keep up the good work in the second half of the season? And could any other driver possibly challenge him?
The first half of the season was once again absolutely spot on. There had been 7 different winners from 8 races. 8 different drivers had started from pole position. Clear indications that this championship battle would go down in history. After an 8-week break, the second half of the season got underway at the Nürburgring in the Eifel. And what is it that everybody knows about the Eifel? That the weather here is unpredictable. Of course, at this point, it was about keeping a clear view in the championship race for the drivers, but that is exactly what they didn't have for a long time on the Saturday. The fog stayed for hours, a real test of patience for drivers, mechanics and fans alike. However, all that waiting paid off. At 5:15 p.m, the race was finally able to get underway. Qualifying having been cancelled, championship positions decided the starting order.
All good things come to those who wait. Here we go then, at the Nürburgring. Finally, we are underway, and it's a great start for Mirko Bortolotti and René Rast.
However, it was Felipe Fraga who had the best start. From 6th on the grid, he quickly carved his way into the lead. And still, Fraga didn't win the race. Of all people, it was points leader Mirko Bortolotti who triggered the decisive moment. In the battle for the lead, the Lamborghini Works driver lost his patience on lap 29.
Bortolotti has a big look at the inside contact, and Fraga is sent into a spin. Bortolotti spins, and Sheldon van der Linde has got the lead of the race from 3rd place. He whips past. They're stranded on the track, lighting up the tyres. Furious is Felipe Fraga, having to go the wrong way down the track just to try and spin it around.
Bortolotti's mistake cost both himself and Fraga some serious points. For the Italian in particular, it was a heavy blow in the battle for the title. After that, Sheldon van der Linde brought home his 3rd win of the season in a commanding way. And his brother Kelvin came 2nd, scoring his first podium finish of the season. An historic result, the first time siblings had ever finished 1st and 2nd in a DTM race.
You know, I didn't win today, but this is probably the happiest day of my life. I honestly, this is what dreams are made of. When you're standing with your best mate, your brother on the podium. If mom and dad, you guys are watching, I'm so proud of you guys and thank you so much for everything. And I'm speechless, honestly. This is what we've been dreaming for our whole lives long, and we said this whole year that that's our goal, is to be on the podium together. Obviously for the championship for myself, it's amazing. So I don't think I've ever been this happy in my life.
With 105 points, Sheldon van der Linde had reclaimed the points lead and was now 16 clear of Bortolotti. As a result, the South African made a giant step towards securing BMW its first title since Marco Wittmann was victorious in 2016.
Exactly, leading the championship again. Obviously not what I wanted to see with Mirko and Felipe in the last corner, but obviously we have to take these moments when we can.
On the second day, the focus was on the title battle once more, as Mirko Bortolotti came unstuck once again.
He needs to focus on the battle ahead, because alongside him now comes Mirko Bortolotti trying the outside line at turn 1. Kelvin deliberately, purposefully lets the Audi drift wide itself to fend off the inside line for turn 2. Clever car positioning that from the South African. Bortolotti looking for the inside line at turn 4 if he can by going the outside here. He's maybe a bit too far back, or is he? Goes for it, goes for the move. There it is, there's contact again, and it's a left rear problem this time for Bortolotti. And he drags the car back onto the circuit. Maximilian Gutz has gone through. Muller goes through as well, and oh dear, oh dear.
He again lost out, this time in the battle for 4th place, failing to score any points for a second consecutive day. In total, a potential 28 points had disappeared into thin air. Once again, the only multiple race winner of the season so far landed on his feet. Despite starting from pole position, he only finished in 9th place due to the additional success ballast. Yet still, it was enough to extend his championship lead.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've been dreaming of this moment for a long time, but obviously it's not done yet. We still have 3 events, so we need to really keep our feet on the ground.
René Rast was another title candidate not to score any points on day 2. The Audi driver punted off by DTM rookie David Schumacher. The end of a disillusioning weekend.
Yeah, very disappointing weekend, very frustrating obviously. Only scored 2 points, and I think yesterday especially could have been many more points.
Meanwhile, it was this man who benefited. Lucas Stolz scoring his first ever DTM race win.
Into the final corner comes the HRT Mercedes. Here comes Lucas Stolz, who becomes a race winner in the DTM.
It's hard to describe, I would say. Still, emotions are really, really high. But yeah, to win at your home track with your home team, it's based in Moisbad, it feels awesome.
While Dennis Olsen with Porsche crossed the finish line in 2nd place, Lucas Auer was another Mercedes driver to end up on the podium. Auer moving up to 3rd in the standings as a result. For the penultimate time, the championship headed outside of Germany and returned to the country where it all began, with DTM's first ever race, Belgium. The race weekend in mid-September was held at the 7-kilometre long track of Spa, the longest circuit on the calendar. At a venue steeped in history, 2 more DTM newcomers took centre stage. Having secured Porsche's maiden pole position in DTM, Norwegian Dennis Olsen went on to score his first victory in the championship.
Yes, boys!
Congrats, dude. Very good job. Very good job. Thank you for this.
We have worked extremely hard this year to get to this point, and we have challenged now for podiums the last 3 race weekends, and now finally being on the top step is great.
On Sunday, New Zealand's Nick Cassidy also became a first-time winner with the AlphaTauri AF Corsa Ferrari.
Yes! Yes! You're the man! You're the man!
You legend. You're legend. Thank you, son.
Yeah, really, really happy right now. I've been
saying a bit, but I've been wanting to win the championship for so long, and to pull it off today in that way is super cool.
Two rookies leading the way across the Spa weekend, a fact which again completely underlined the sheer depth of quality within the current crop of DTM drivers. The most competitive field there had been for a long time. On the first race day, defending champion Maximilian Götz made his comeback to the DTM podium. From fourth on the grid, the Mercedes driver finished second.
Yeah, first of all, finally being back on the podium after last time Norrisring when I became champion. That's a great feeling, to be honest, and also thanks to my team. They did a great job the whole season, but we didn't deserve it so far, and now we brought everything together.
Third across the line was Thomas Preining. A success. Even more so considering that he dropped back to ninth following this dangerous contact with Auer at Eau Rouge, the world's most famous corner, prior to starting his recovery drive.
It was super scary because there's 25 maniacs coming after you, and if you're sideways, you know, if one hits you in the door, it can be very dangerous. So I'm very happy that I'm healthy, and obviously the podium is the cherry on the cake.
René Rast came fourth in his Audi and moved up to second place in the standings as Mirko Bortolotti finished back in 8th place, despite a strong race from 20th on the grid. Also from a lowly grid, points leader Sheldon van der Linde was classified 12th. No points for the third time this season.
Obviously, it's getting quite close in the championship in the front, so that's it's not good news for me because obviously I want to drive away at the front and score as many points as possible. But we'll take the challenge on, and we're here to fight.
On the second race day, it looked better for Sheldon van der Linde as the BMW driver qualified third. He'd now amassed 12 additional championship points for his qualifying results over the course of the season, more than anyone else. He led the race for a long time, but finished second due to a problem during the mandatory pit stop, securing 18 valuable points behind Cassidy.
It's not necessary to take unnecessary risk just for the win. I've won 3 times already, so for me the championship is most important at this point in time, and I think we're on a good way so far.
Pole sitter René Rast was on course for the podium for much of the race, but had to park his car due to a puncture just before the end. A real setback in the battle for the title.
Yeah, day 2, not 100% to forget, but obviously qualify was our highlight today. The race, obviously 0 points, was not like we expected or hoped for. Obviously, in terms of championship, it's a setback, but we still have 4 races to go.
Like on the previous day, Thomas Preining finished third in his Porsche. Birthday boy Lucas Auer started from 10th on the grid and worked his way up. No podium for him, but he still came 4th behind Preining.
Tough race, didn't have the base. I could work myself to the front, especially in the first stint, because I had very good tires from yesterday. But then in the second stint, I just didn't have the base, and I had to accept, so it was okay.
With that result, Lucas Auer advanced in the points to become Sheldon van der Linde's primary rival. Sheldon van der Linde had a difficult weekend in the 7th round of the DTM. As at the Norrisring, the South African didn't score any points at Spielberg either. As a result, the 23-year-old had so far scored 29 points less in the second half of the season than he had in the first half.
I know how quickly things can change, and I know it will be the same, that everyone has to kind of go through these bad weekends, and I just hope that ours are now out of the way and that we can really focus on a very good Hockenheim.
Would the opposition be able to take advantage and catch the championship leader? In the first race in Austria, the title candidates went into attack mode. A thrilling race unfolded in which Nick Cassidy, as he had done in Spa, came out on top. As a result, he became the first driver besides Sheldon van der Linde to score more than one win in the season.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
The drivers here I consider to be really world class, and I've had to learn a lot about this type of car, match my driving to it, but I've been able to do that. I'm super proud I can show these performances.
Behind the New Zealander René Rast, who'd started from pole position, finished in second place.
Nick was just a bit too quick, and got a lot of pressure from Mirko at the beginning of the race, so I think we got the maximum out of the race today, so very happy with that.
And Mirko Bortolotti was back in the title race. After 4 races without a podium, the Lamborghini driver worked his way up to finish third. The second race in Styria set the stage for a thrilling season finale at Hockenheim. Thomas Preining scored 25 points with his Porsche, becoming the first ever Austrian to win a DTM race at the Red Bull Ring.
And this is Preining time! Yeah, mate! Well done! Thank you!
Yeah, it's honestly unbelievable. Winning a race in DTM is a big honor, and to do it on home soil is unbelievable, honestly. The level is so high, the teams are working on an extremely high level, and the drivers are world class, so to win on home soil is spectacular.
For Preining, it was his second win of the season, and he'd moved up to 4th in the standings as a result. 2 Mercedes drivers followed him on the podium in the form of Lukas Stolz and Maro Engel. And on the theme of Mercedes, Lucas Auer ended up 6th and reclaimed 2nd in the standings because of it. He was now just 11 points off the championship lead.
Yeah, very happy coming from P12, and today all credits to the team. They made the decision with slicks. I thought they are completely mad, but it was 100% the right decision and the only way to score some points.
Still without a win this season, Mirko Bortolotti finished 8th. 5th in the standings, but he was only 16 points down.
For the race, and in the end we started from P24, I think, and we finished P8 or P9, so it's once again a perfect race for us, but just, yeah, we deserved a lot more, but it's how it is, and we look forward to the next race.
René Rast scored even fewer points, just 1. He was now 3rd in the drivers' standings, but just 12 points down on Sheldon van der Linde. As a result, 10 drivers still had a mathematical chance of winning the title. Moreover, there were 5 different brands represented in the first 5 places. Excitement was guaranteed. On the 8th of October, it was game on. The final race weekend was imminent. 5 drivers in particular had justifiable hopes of winning the title. Van der Linde, Auer, Bortolotti, Rast, Preining. And with the spectacular way with which it unfolded, the penultimate race of the season saw further title hopes being shattered.
We're about to find out how this race at least pans out. We're about to go racing for the penultimate time in DTM 2022 with the championship wide open. We go racing here at Hockenheim, and Lucas Auer with a good stop. Giamatti in a spin in the background after contact into the barriers, and around goes the Indian driver. Huge damage to the back of the car. That doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Damage to the barrier. Could be a safety car. You got somebody's missing tyre, because tyre work is going everywhere. Somebody's shredded a tyre here in that battle on the way through the hairpin. And this is a dramatic start to the race.
And that was just the beginning. Things became even more dramatic after the safety car intervention.
And And here we go again, racing at full speed. Away they go on the way into turn one. Marco Wittmann challenging for the lead of the race, tries to carry the speed around the outside. René Rast behind in third, contact further back there. Felipe getting involved with one of the Lamborghinis, which might be Clement Schmidt. We've got another Lamborghini, which is Rolf Eischen into the barriers. Rast is third, but he's got Bortolotti barrelling up the inside of him now. On the brakes on the way to turn 8. He goes through the huge jump behind. Massive jump there, and fireball as well we've got. Look at that. It's the DTM engine that has become completely separate from the car. Oh, enormous impact that must have been.
I have no idea actually what really happened. I think obviously we touched.
I didn't see him in the mirror. Yeah, and then we touched each other, and then it just went straight in the wall. Luckily, everyone was fine.
The race continued after a long interruption. Because of the result, the battle for the title became even closer.
What an explosive race it has been here at Hockenheim, and it's Lucas Auer that sees the checkered flag first and wins race one of the weekend from Sheldon van der Linde and Marco Wittmann.
Yes, baby. Yes. Very good looking. Very good job.
Auer and van der Linde were now only 2 points apart. René Rast was 21 points down, therefore his chances were slim. Thomas Preining, on the other hand, was no longer a title contender after the crash, and after qualifying 2, neither was Mirko Bortolotti.
I think the championship is done now. I think we would have had a chance with a strong result. We were doing great until the pit stop, so now the chance is gone.
And so, just 3 drivers remained in the fight for the title. One more race, and winning once more was the task at hand for René Rast. Having claimed pole position, he'd got the gap down to 18 points, his title chances still alive. Attacking once more was Lucas Auer's mantra, even more so from 11th on the grid with full success ballast. And for Sheldon van der Linde, now it was a case of avoiding any mistakes.
We wait for the lights to go out for one final time this season then as they roll towards the start, and the race gets underway with René Rast then charging towards the first corner. Clement Schmidt going with him, and Marco Wittmann around the outside of everybody to get the lead of the race from 4th on the grid.
Wittmann charged to the front and remained in sharp focus after that as well.
This is for the lead of the race. René Rast has to do it. He has to do it here. The Audi almost dwarfed by the BMW as they go side by side into turn 7. And René Rast has got his nose in front, and there's a left-hander coming up. And Marco Wittmann will come back and there's a bit of contact. They're sent out wide, especially René Rast, who still keeps his foot down. 2 champions together, 5 titles between them, going for the final race victory of 2022. They're still absolutely nose to nose here. Neither of them wants to go up. René Rast cannot give up. He needs to win the race. He goes through.
In his final race with Audi, René Rast then made a rare mistake. Second place behind Wittmann was all he could manage. Not enough for the title.
We knew we had to win the race, which we couldn't. So in the end, I think we maximized what we had today in the race, second place. Unfortunately, in the championship, only third.
Third overall, because Lucas Auer was 7th at the finish, ending up 2nd in the championship.
We had no chances today with the performance rate, and the others were just massively faster, because I would have loved to have a harder fight, you know.
Therefore, 3rd place in the race was more than enough for Sheldon van der Linde to take the biggest prize of all.
But 3rd place and the 2022 DTM Championship title is going to go to Sheldon van der Linde.
Are we champions or not, mate? You haven't replied. Yes, you are the champion. P3, Wittmann win, Rast 2, you are P3. You are DTM champion. Oh, yes, baby. Oh my God, we did it. Oh man, I don't even know what to say.
I have 1,000 things running through my mind right now, and just flashing back to when I was a kid sitting on the couch watching these guys win championships, and I honestly believe that I could be there one day. My family gave me the opportunity to do this, and I have no words. I can just say thank you so much to everyone that believed in me. I think the key was just being consistent. We showed also now in Hockenheim, both races being on the podium, when it really mattered at the end. Yeah, just so happy to be DTM champion. It feels unbelievable.
The BMW driver had scored 3 wins and 2 pole positions and was, in the end, the dominant driver.
I'm so proud of him. He did what I couldn't do last year, so I'm happy he could learn something from me.
I think he has showed a very good performance over the whole year and for sure deserved the championship.
He showed, even with his young age, that he grown to an absolute professional race car driver. And together with his team, with Team Schubert, with BMW, I think he could show his whole potential throughout the whole season.
You know, these championships don't come easy, and who knows if there'll be one again. You cannot work like that, so we need to enjoy this one.
Audi sealed the manufacturer's crown, but thanks to Sheldon van der Linde, it was BMW that had the DTM champion in its ranks for the first time since 2016. And the South African had 2 reasons to celebrate, because Schubert Motorsport also became the 2022 Teams Champions.
What a phenomenal DTM season 2022. We now finally have our new champion, and it's Sheldon van der Linde, who did a phenomenal job here at the Hockenheimring in the last race, and it was truly emotional. It was a roller coaster season for him, and in the end he managed to snatch the title. And one thing's for sure, we will be back next year, and it's going to be just as exciting. We cannot wait. So see you next year. Bye-bye.